This is the Hudson Utilities Public Utilities Commission meeting, Tuesday, April 14th. We're going to start out with roll call. Jace?
Hassan?
Here.
Quorum?
She's on mute. Susie, you're on mute.
There you go. Susie, I'm doing a roll, so you're here? I think so. Paul?
Here.
Nolan?
Here.
Kreisel? Dave, can you hear me?
Can you guys all hear everybody here? Jace is trying to do roll call, and I don't know if everybody can hear.
Dave, can you hear me?
He's frozen up. We know he's on.
Okay. And then T. Winkle.
Here. Dave looks like a statue.
Okay. Hey Andy, if I could just before we take off here. I know a lot of you have done the Zoom before. Just a couple quick reminders. If we could just, if you're not talking, that are in the background, if we could kind of just get you guys to mute. It just kind of makes it, there's not so much background noise on that. And then if you could, when you guys are making a motion, just for Jace's sake, so he can keep track of who made the motion, who made the second. If you could maybe just use your last name. Motion by T. Winkle, second by Preisel, something along that line, just so we can kind of keep track of this a little bit better. I'd appreciate that. So, okay, Andy, your show.
All right. So approval of March 10th meeting minutes. So just to get started up, we don't need a motion on that, though, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do need a motion on that.
Get a motion. Joyce motion, but she's on mute. I saw her lips moving out. You're on mute, Joyce.
Now I can hear you better.
There you go.
I was having a hard time hearing you, Andy. Okay, I made the motion to accept the meeting minutes.
We got a second?
I'll second. Pat.
There we go. Thanks, Pat. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
If you guys can't hear anything either, and we do it all in favor, raise your hand just so we can see it at least. There we go. Thanks, Greg. All right, so number 3, discussion of possible action on the wastewater treatment project bids received. Yep.
Okay. If you go to, hold on. Can you guys all see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So the wastewater treatment plant bids, we had pulled this off last month. We wanted to do a little bit of digging on this. Wednesday, March 4th, 2020, we received 2 bids for the wastewater treatment plant 2020 improvement project. There's an attached letter from SEH, discussion and attached letter from SEH dated April 1st, 2020, pertaining to pros and cons of rebidding the wastewater treatment plant. There's also a April 8th, 2020 letter pertaining to the rebidding of the wastewater treatment plant. So what I'll do, I'm just going to kind of walk through these. So the first one on Wednesday, March 4th, 2020, 2 bids were received for the Hudson wastewater treatment plant. Complete tabulation of the bids is attached. Format of the bid form was divided into item A, a $60,000 allowance for computers associated, and item B, the remaining lump sum item bid price, which is the sum of items A and B. So out of those 2, we had the 2 that we had Magni Construction Incorporated for a bid price of $10,398,800. in a total mechanical bid price of $12,449,188. If we go down the overall project costs, with our engineering estimate was actually at $12,549,730. The actual price on that was, or the project low bid price was $13,153,410. So we took it off the agenda last month so we could actually do a little digging into why we only received 2 bids, and why they were higher than what our engineering estimate was. So if you look at my screen now, there's a letter from SEH dated April 1st, 2020. So the purpose of this letter is to provide additional information gathered since the project was bid on March 4th, and whereby 2 bids were received from Magny and Total. Each of the 9 prime bidders that obtained bidding documents were contacted to find out the reasons for not bidding this project and their likelihood of providing a bid if the project was rebid in May or April and May. There's also additional tables summarizing the pros and cons awarding the project to the low bidder, and pros and cons related to rebidding the project a second time. So if you look at plan holder list, or table 1 here, the plan holder list, lists the primary contractors that had taken out the plans. It listed the reason for not submitting a bid the first time around, and then a likelihood to provide a bid if the project rebid April, May. So as we can see on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are likely to rebid if we reject the bids this time and put this project back out for rebid here in April and May. So you can kind of go through, you guys all have your packets. You can go through and look at the pros and cons of everything. And go from there. And so what we're looking for, if I scroll back up to my issue sheet, in conversations with the mayor, with the city administrator, we're recommending that we reject all bids from the March 4th, 2020 bid opening, that we reject all bids and authorize the director to rebid the project as soon as possible. So that's kind of an overview. Hopefully everybody had time to go through and look at this and go from there. So I don't know if anybody has any questions that you want to read or talk about or anything like that.
So just to be clear, we're basically just looking to reject these so we can get more bids. And from what it looks like is
from this,
we have 5 that are willing to bid, correct?
I don't know. Can you guys all hear Andy very well? I can't
hear Andy at all.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. Maybe if you can speak into your mic a little closer or move everything closer, Andy. I can't hear you very well.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit better.
All right. So I was saying, just to be clear, we're looking to reject these bids because there's only 2, but we have 5 people that are interested in bidding, correct?
Well, that's according to, yes, that's according to the contacts that SEH has made after the March 4th bid opening. We reached out to, the contractors that bought the plans and seeing why we couldn't. I don't know what's going on there. And just see why we. I'll try that. Yeah. So yeah, that was after the March 4th, and that's when SEH reached out to the contractors that actually purchased the plans and talked to them and asked why, out of the 9 that took it out, only 2 of them actually bid on it. So yeah, what my recommendation is now is to, for agenda item number 3, is to reject all the bids March 4th, 2020 bid opening for the wastewater treatment plant.
Okay.
And then
Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Well, my comment would be that the only thing that's less expensive now, post-virus, is the gasoline and diesel fuel that they would be using to get around on the job site, really. And it seems to me that Magny is really the only one that's done this stuff before. That they're highly qualified, it looks to me. My opinion is we should just go with them instead of wasting time and extra money.
If,
You don't think that one of the other, right now we only got the 2 bids. I mean, we could potentially have 5 come in though. You don't think it would be worth it to look at those other 5?
Well, they haven't. This is a very specialized thing they're doing. It would be easier if they were building a whole new plant from scratch, but when you're taking an old plant and renovating it and fixing it while you're keeping it operating, that's pretty tricky. And they've done this before. Nobody else has. And
I don't know if
just go with Magny.
John John Friel and Brendan Woolahan are here from SEH. They're actually in on this meeting too. So I don't agree with you, Pat, that Magny is the only one that can do this this type of work. The ones that pretty much all the plan holders that took this out can do this kind of work. So I don't know if maybe John or Brendan want to maybe speak on that. The other plan holders that were there and their qualifications. We do have to keep in mind that just because we rebid this, or if we do reject these bids and rebid this project, does not necessarily mean that we are going to get better pricing. But with saying that, we're looking at a $12+ million, $13 million project, and to have 2 bids on it, that's a pretty big price tag in my eyes, to put on 2 bids or receiving 2 bids on that. I can't, there's no guarantee. Nobody has a crystal ball that any pricing is going to be any better. The thing is if the bids still come in at that 13 million, we've at least done our due diligence, in my opinion, to get that some other bids out there. So when we do look at this again, we can say, well, I guess that's just what this project is going to cost us. It is going to be a $12.5 million project. The engineering estimate was just kind of underestimated, along the line. But the plan holders that took these plans out are definitely, in my opinion, qualified to do that. So I don't know if John or Brendan, you guys want to speak on that?
Yep. This is John Friel. I would say, first off, I have worked with Magny, and I would agree that they're highly qualified. They're a great contractor. But then speaking directly to the question, yes, we did have 9 general contractors that bought the plans, and from my calls just 2 weeks ago, there were at least 5 of them that were interested. And those 5 are qualified as far as doing wastewater projects.
And did they give any indications why they didn't bid it the first time?
So, yeah, there were at least 3 of them it was kind of a perfect storm where they had a lot of other projects right at that time. And then just because of the timing, they said they couldn't allocate, the estimators that they had on multiple projects.
Sure.
So that was the main thing. There was one of the 9 that is more of an earthwork contractor that would not be bidding. And then another one of the 9 would serve as a sub to Market and Johnson. So
yeah, Hudson's is purely excavating. So
yeah.
I've got up on the screen, Kurt.
Yeah.
If you look there, kind of the reason for not submitting there.
Oh,
right here.
I have it on a different screen. I guess I didn't even look at that. Sorry.
So is there any other questions, concerns from any of the commission members?
Okay,
This is Joyce Hall. I'll make the motion to reject the bids and put it back out for bidding.
we got a second?
This is Kurt. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
Well, put me down for no.
Will do.
Okay. Number 4, discussion and possible action on the rebidding of water and treatment plant improvement project and the LOE for rebidding.
Andy, you have to step up to your mic again.
All right. So we're on number 4, discussion and possible action on the rebidding of the water treatment plant improvement project and the LOE for rebidding.
Okay, so on the screen, I've just put up my issue sheet here for the rebid of the wastewater treatment plant. With rejections of the wastewater treatment plant improvement project bids, we need to rebid the project, obviously. The proposal and schedule for rebid from SEH is attached. So if we go down here to the letter dated April 8th, 2020, basically it just gives the scope of service for the rebidding phase. What has to be done, there is some, obviously the documents are done. So we don't have to really redo a whole lot of the documents. There is some dates and different things like that have to go in there, or that have to be changed in the new documents that will go out. There is, they have to prepare everything for rebidding. There's going to be more questions again from bidders. Review the bids, in preparation of the bid tabulations. Prepare everything for the meeting for you guys. Summary letters, things of that nature. So with that, with going out to rebid again, the compensation that SEH is looking for the rebidding services is $19,800 even. So we would be looking for a motion to approve the LOE for rebidding in the amount of $19,800. And also if you have on here, if you see on here, we do have a schedule. So there's the letter of engagement, which would be today. Everything is pretty much ready to go. I'm sure John and Brendan will have this ready by Thursday. Yeah, Thursday the 16th to go back out on Quest. And then we're looking at roughly about a 3 or 5 week advertisement period for everybody to put their bids together, with a bid opening on May 21st. And then what I'm proposing is probably having sometime after May 21st, May 27th, somewhere in there, we'll do a special utility commission meeting to approve any bids, or actually go through the bids again and see if we want to approve them, where they come in at, things of that nature. And the reason that I'm asking for the special one is because then we can hit the June 1st, 2020 city council meeting, because this does have to go from you to them. So that kind of gets us on that schedule. And then once the city council would approve it, we can actually get rolling on the project. If we wait until our June meeting, it'd be July before we could get anything out. So I don't know if anybody has any questions on this. Otherwise,
Motion by Hall to approve the LOE.
Do we have a second?
Second by T. Winkle.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Roland says no.
Okay. Motion carries. Going on to number 5, discussion and possible action on the construction of the Utility Service Center storage building.
all right. Hudson Utilities received, so I'm just going to read from my issue sheet here. Hudson Utilities received bids and opened them on April 9th, 2020 for the utility storage building facility. 5 bids. We received 5 bids. Hold on here. We received 5 bids. We received the lowest bidder being Berghammer Builders Incorporated in the amount of $454,365 with an alternate bid in the amount of $16,308. The alternate was for completing the proposed restroom inside the building. It's just a single toilet sink restroom facility in there. I attached a spreadsheet that lists all costs of the proposed storage building. Total costs for this project are approximately $685,269. This includes the water and sewer extensions, engineering, gas, and electric, building construction, and the footing foundation costs. 2020 wastewater budget includes $600,000 for this project with an overrun of approximately $85,269. So we're about $85,269 over our what I had budgeted in 2020. Funding source for my recommendation, I'm recommending approval of the utility storage building proposal from Bergham Builders in the amount of $454,365, including the alternate of $16,308. Funding will be used from the 2020 wastewater budget monies of $600,000. With the remainder coming from the water budget. This facility will be used by both water and wastewater staff. The Wisconsin Street Tower project came in approximately $220,000 under budget. So I'm recommending or asking to use that additional budgeted money from the water department to offset the difference cost on this building. Here is the bid tabulations. So the five that we had here, we had Bergham, Ross, Meisinger, Ebert, and APX Construction with their bids here, and then their alternate bids. They did meet all the bid bonds and the addendums, things of that nature. Here's just the storage facility cost that I put together, which shows the engineering costs, the Livingston Road, that's the water and sewer improvements from Gary Zappa when we put that out for bid, which we did push off last month to see where the pricing came in at. Xcel Energy Electric Gas, City Development for their review, and the $454,365 for the contractor. And the contractor is estimating that the footing foundation is going to be about $97,000, which gives us the $685,269 number. So, questions on that?
Well, it's a different world today. You know, we were expecting in the past revenues to be going up. Now they could be going down in the future.
Well, I agree. It doesn't, you know, we're building this building because we're losing the garage storage area down at the wastewater treatment plant. So that's why we're building this. You know, again, I mean, I'll take blame for under budgeting this. You know, if we take out the water and sewer connections of that 71,000, I was almost right on, kind of guessing at where a building like this was going to come in at, with not ever building one before. I think it was a pretty good guess. It's just the water and sewer extensions that kind of threw me off on that. But so I guess that's my recommendation. You know, you guys can do what you want. But my recommendation is to use the budgeted money from the sewer. And like I said, you know, this isn't going to just be a sewer staff vehicle equipment only building. This will be a mixed use building. So I don't see any issues putting having water contribute to part of this too.
Any additional comments? Okay. Do we have a motion to move forward with the proposed bid and the $16,000 alternate?
I'll make the motion.
We have a second?
Who made the
I'll
motion?
second it.
I did, Joyce.
Joyce?
Susie, did you second it?
I did.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Winkle, no.
Nolan, no.
3 noes. Okay, so motion does not carry. Oh,
Who voted no?
Preisel voted no. Nolan voted no. T-Winkle voted no.
I don't know what we do with a tie.
So I guess I'm curious, Kurt, where's kind of your head at on this one, Kurt?
Did you ask me, Andy?
Yes, I did.
I've been critical of even the 600 budgeted from the very beginning. I think something must be way too lavish in it. You know, I get it. We have five bids here. Obviously, that's where it's at, but that's just way too much to spend for a vehicle storage building, in my opinion. Because I remember through some of these meetings, Kip, correct me if I'm wrong, but you threw it out there that, okay, this is a steel structure, but there's a chance that we could still do a pole building. Well, I don't know whatever happened to that.
What we did, you know, we went, a lot of the difference, I believe, went from wood to steel. So, you know, when we designed this as a steel structure. So what I'm talking about when I say steel is, you know, obviously the
girders, all
yeah,
that.
the girders, all that kind of stuff inside. You know, we wanted something that was going to be here for forever, that was going to last, things of that nature. So I made the call and went with steel. You know, we can always, I guess, we need the storage building. So I guess what I'm looking for you guys is what do you want me to do?
My point is, if you were a private business, I promise you would not spend $685,000 to store trucks. Just doesn't happen. I mean, we're spending money like drunken sailors right now if we spend on this.
All right, Dave, what's your thought on this, Dave?
It's basically the same thing. I think we can come in quite a bit under the $600,000 of what we need and what we want. There's no reason to spend this amount of money on that. I haven't seen, and Kip, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen a lot on planning on this either. I haven't seen any designs of buildings. I haven't seen any layout designs for the asphalt. Can you send that back out again?
You're breaking up.
Even with what Kurt said in regards to the aspects of, you know, steel with steel versus wood, you know, there's got to be better options for us.
Okay.
Can I ask some questions? How much of a cost savings would it be if we went with wood rather than steel? And then also, what would the expected lifetime be of wood versus steel?
I don't know the answer to that, Joyce. I'm not a building engineer, so those are questions I would have to ask.
All right, I'm going to withdraw my motion and I'm going to replace it with a motion to bring this up at the next meeting with those questions answered.
You know what I can do? Would you like it if I would have EA, you know, our architect there? I mean, we can have him. That way, if you have questions, he can answer them way better than I can, obviously.
Okay.
You know, so I can have Tyler there, or at least join our next meeting.
Yeah, I think that'd be good, Kip, just so we can get more questions answered. You know, with the 600,000, I mean, kind of with Kurt and Dave and everybody's saying here, you know, I think it'd be best if we kind of explored a few more options and answered some more questions. So if we could do that and bring it up in the next meeting, I think that'd be great.
Okay. Well, we'll just put it on the agenda for next month for discussion on options, I guess.
Okay. I got a quick question to ask the group too. So, you know, is everyone in agreement that we do need this vehicle storage?
Well, we need it, but if the economy, if we don't have the money.
It's not at all cost.
No, I get that. I'm with you, Pat. I agree with you on that. I want to make sure that we're all on board that this is something we need.
Well, we've only been in the Livingston Road place 2 years. And
Correct.
We got places there. We got by without it before we had it. We got that up to the, well, 8, there's a big garage there. We can put stuff in. You know, a lot of people are getting by in these days with a lot less than they used to.
Sure.
Maybe we have to learn to do it as well. The
I would
water,
agree, Pat.
the wastewater treatment plant, you know, that is a necessity. But I don't know about this.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to add to this before we move on? Okay. Moving on. Number 6, discussion and possible action on the extension of sewer and water services, the utility service center storage building. I'm assuming this is probably something that we'll have to.
We can skip that one until we figure out what we're going to do with the building.
All right, that sounds good.
If we're going to do it, you know, if we're not going to do a building, then there's no point in putting water and sewer into that area.
Agreed. All right, number 7, discussion and possible action on the annual water quarterly report. Quality report, sorry.
I will pull that up here. I don't know if that's showing up right on your screen there, but
Sure, yeah, it looks good.
so it's just the annual quality, the one that we put out every year. It's just kind of got all of what Hudson Utilities has been doing throughout the year in terms of sampling, things of that nature, with all of our test results and stuff. So it's, I guess unless somebody's got questions about it, it's just the only thing really that changes on it are the test result numbers. We're fine. We don't have anything that's out of the ordinary or anything that was detectable in terms of over any levels. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know why that's moving around on there, but so I guess we're just looking. Are we looking for a motion on this, Jace?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Anyone want to throw a motion out?
This is Dave, and I motion to approve.
Got a second?
This is Kurt, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 8, project updates, project status report.
I can't. Well, hold on.
Oh, there it is. It's on my screen.
Yeah, I can't see the whole thing here. So, basically, the residential, the cross connection control program and the meter change out is obviously at a standstill right now because of the COVID, where we are not going in people's homes. We're not setting up appointments, anything like that. So that's pretty much at a standstill. The State Highway 35 sanitary sewer and water main improvements. The design, everything, we're about 90% done with that, which hasn't changed. We're still waiting. The city has had some discussion with DOT on some issues that they were having with some road widths, things of that nature. So we're just waiting for all that kind of stuff to get worked out between the city and DOT. Then hopefully that project will move forward. But I'm not 100% sure when or if that's even going to happen. We're just kind of waiting to see what happens with at the city level with like I said, road design, crosswalk design, things of that nature. So hopefully we'll be moving forward with that. The wastewater treatment plant project, obviously we just spent a bunch of time on that, so we all know where we're at with that. The vehicle storage, we know where we're at with that. And the Wisconsin Street Water Tower rehab, that's all been approved. You guys approved that. That is scheduled to start on June 15th, thereabouts. So we'll be having our pre-con meetings on that here probably sometime next month. So
Okay,
that's about it.
excellent, thank you.
Say,
Other
Kip, I've got a quick question.
Okay.
Have you received, this is Dave, have you received anything from the DNR in regards to COVID-19 and the commercial residential cross connection inspection program in regards to postponing, delaying until we're out of the pandemic?
In terms of the cross connection inspections that we're doing?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they pretty much just shut everything down. We are under timelines on a lot of this stuff. They've extended timelines, things of that nature. They're doing it all over. For different reports that we have due, they are actually extending timelines on a lot of that kind of stuff. Just because they understand that people are working from home, it's a little more difficult to do. It's more difficult to gather all this information and put it together than if we were actually in our offices, 40 hours a week type thing. So, yeah, until DNR kind of gives us that approval, go ahead type thing. The getting in people's homes, doing the meter change out, doing the residential and commercial, because obviously a lot of the commercial are closed now. So until we get the go ahead from that, yeah, that's just kind of on a standstill right now. We're hoping as soon as we're ready to go.
Okay.
So as soon as they lift this kind of ban, we will be sending out notices to the residents that are the remaining residents to make appointments and things like that. So we're hoping here sometime in May or June we can pick this back up and start running it.
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
All right, number 9, other business for information purposes only or for upcoming agenda?
Don't have anything.
So we talked about the letter that came across?
No.
Okay. Sewer utility and water utility cash reports.
These were not included in your packet, but Jace did just email them to you.
Mm-hmm.
To your tablets,
Yeah, to your tablets. So you should have
if you do have them.
your sewer and your water cash reports. So I guess if anybody's got any questions on that, we can talk about them. We got them late, so we apologize that they're not in your packets. We need a motion on them, Jace?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
Any
I'm
questions?
sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, we do. I apologize. Yes, we do need a motion for claims. I'm sorry.
Oh, on the cash reports?
No, the cash report, no.
Okay. Well, we're moving on to claims. Discussion of possible action on claims.
I'm sorry, Andy, what was your request?
I was saying we're moving on. Discussion of possible action on claims.
And we will
Claims.
need a motion on that.
And we do need a motion.
Okay.
All right, I'll move to approve.
Okay.
Winkle.
We got T. Winkle's got a motion. We got a second.
I'll second that. I'll second that. This is David.
Got it.
Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, everybody. Last but not least, we come up to adjournment. We got a motion to adjourn?
So moved. T. Winkle.
Thank you, Kurt. We got a second?
Price will second.
Thank you, Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries.
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.
All
Hey,
right,
thanks,
thank you.
everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Take care, guys.
You.